first green, and look at the move. He's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh. Ladies and gents, welcome back. It is Netflix Drive to Survive time, Season 2, Episode 5. So guys, you probably think I sound like a bag of crap here. I am dying with a cold before we get in here, so you'd have to excuse me if I sound a bit, oh my god, I am struggling. Oh Jesus. Oh god, the summer is actually starting to hit home here in Ireland. Finally, we're getting some good weather for once. And do you know what? Typical. When the sun comes out, it's starting to warm up. And now we're getting colds. This is one of the worst colds I've had, and I'm serious, in a long time. It's one of the worst I've ever had for a long time. I can barely... Oh my god, blowing my nose, clearing my throat. You can hear my sinuses. I can barely hear out of my one ear here. Jesus, what is going on with the world? But you know, it's all from we had such damp weather here, man, in winter, that all of a sudden it turns, and I mean it dramatically turned here in Ireland for us guys. So that, I mean, it's great, but fuck. Incredible. So you'll have to excuse me guys if I sound a bit if I sound totally fucked, that's because I am totally fucked, alright? But today, the episode, it's all about this one. If I had to summarize this one episode up, I would give it one word: bullying. And who's doing the bullying? Red Bull. Isn't that funny? This is when we get a glimpse when Pierre Gasly joins the team, and they're not happy with Pierre Gasly. They want him out. They want him gone. Now, they don't want him gone because he's going slow. They just want him gone. And because they want him gone, they're trying to fuck him in the head. And actually, it did work. To a degree. It worked. But let's get through it, because I got my own experiences here where I can relate to this guy, and I think every racing driver in the world has had a bit of this happen to them. More so than others, less so than others, but it's happened to every racing driver out there, and we'll get to all that now. But this episode, guys, is very, very real and very accurate, but a lot of people think this is because Pierre Gasly's fucking up. No, it's not. So, let's get to it. Okay, so we start off here with Christian Horner. He's at home with Jerry and the kids, and they're just messing around, right? But you can see they're saying, well, he's asking the kids, well, kids, who's your favorite driver? And then one of the kids goes, Sebastian, and he's like, oh my god. Now, Sebastian's not even driving for them, so it's kind of funny, right? It's a bit of a laugh moment. And he's like, he's not even driving for us. My god, what the hell? So then they ask him who's his favorite driver. And you can see Christian now, he's not wanting to answer this question. Right? It's an awkward question. Now, I get it. I totally understand where he's coming from here. He doesn't want to pick sides, right? But there's that little laugh on his face that there's more going on that we know. And believe me, I know that smile, guys. And he goes, well, whoever's winning for us. Because he knows, look, Netflix are in his home. He doesn't want to start saying things on screen, which is, look, understandable. But now we're introduced to Gasly here at Red Bull. So here we see Gasly, he's at a photo shoot. Okay, and then we see Max Verstappen walking in behind him, just kind of messing around with him, right? It's fine, it's what racing drivers do sometimes. And Gasly is just taking the photo shoot, and then afterwards, Max and himself sit down for a few minutes, right? And they're discussing racing, they're discussing, because they have a history back in the days, right? They actually they raced in karts together. Okay, now people kind of go, oh geez, that's crazy, isn't it? Well, you know, they raced in karts against each other, and wow, it's actually no coincidence, guys. Like, the racing world is very, very small, And, you know, you can probably relate to this with your own business, or if you've got your own career in something, right? There's always that small pool of people knowing the right people or people knowing the wrong people. But Pierre Gasly and Verstappen, it's no coincidence that they actually raced against each other in karts and then they end up in Formula 1 together. Do you know what I mean? Like, guys, what my point is here is, out of all the drivers, out of all the series is in the world, and when I say series, in other words, there's German Formula 3, there's German karting, there's Dutch karting, there's Dutch Formula 3, there's English karting, there's English Formula 3. Now these are the lower levels, right? Then you've got, let me see, there's Formula 2, European Formula 2, there's Formula Renault in England, there's Formula Renault in France, there's French Formula 3, there's French Formula 4, there's English Formula 4. I mean, so many different categories, so many different types of championships around the world that you can get these drivers, you can pool drivers from. But all of a sudden, oh, that's a coincidence. These two guys came from here. It ain't any coincidence. But there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. You know, I'm just trying to point out that it's not a coincidence, guys. It's a small world, which is absolutely fine, because I think Red Bull really did focus in on the junior program, which is very, very good, by the way. And I think they should have done this a long time ago. So what they did is they just focused in on one area, and I think it was, don't quote me, I think it was the European and World Karting Championships. So they looked upon that area, and then they pooled Gasly and Verstappen from there. All right? So that's where the sort of the small world thing comes from. Now here we get into it. We go to glimpse of Monaco. Oh, now here we can see a little bit, just a sprinkle of what Monaco... I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. I'm melting here on the podcast. We can see a glimpse of Monaco here. The background, the backdrop, the weather, the nightclubs, the DJs, the beautiful women, just the glamour. It just looks class, doesn't it really? And really, they say that Monaco's a real test of a driver. Well, it is and it isn't. Monaco's is one of those tracks that you do need high concentration. There's no two ways about it. You make one mistake, you're off in a barrier. Done. Gone. Race over. Goodbye. Now, there's plenty of tracks like that. Monaco is just one of those tracks that it's so well known. You know, it's so well known. It's definitely in the top 3 of one of the races that you want to win. It's just got the prestige. It's got everything going for it. You know, and it's an awesome track. And actually, I remember Lewis Hamilton, he actually gave a good description, in fairness to him. He said one time, he says, you know, driving a Formula 1 car, and especially driving around Monaco, is like driving a rocket around a car park. If that helps you to have an idea of what kind of beasts these Formula 1 cars are around a tight track like Monaco. So a very good explanation from it. So then we go into Christian, and then Christian says, oh, well, both drivers aren't exactly the same equipment. Bullshit. Then we have Gasly has a few offs at the start of the season, right? Now, that's at the start of the season, okay? Now, guys, I'm no Pierre Gasly fan. Now, if you're listening to some of my Formula 1 2024 preview and highlight shows, I'm actually starting to like Christian Horner. Right, because he's gone through a lot in 2024 season. Now, I know we're going back here into the Drive to Survive. We're going back years ago. But still, you know I'm a fair guy. And even right now, even 2024 season and back in this day, I'm not even a big Pierre Gasly fan. You know, he's a good driver. He's talented. He's consistent. He's solid. Just not a big fan. You know, I wouldn't go the other way either, negative. So, you know, my point is, I'm still going to stand up for him here, like I just would with anybody else. So, Christian's saying that the both drivers are in the same equipment. That is total horse shit he's talking there. Alright? Total horse shit. Now, when Gasly has a few offs at the start of the season, you see, guys, we don't know, and they don't show us what happened with Gasly. Maybe it was his fault, his few spins at the crashes at the start of the season. Maybe it was a mechanical failure, or maybe it was a combination of both. But they don't go into it now, right? And to be fair to Netflix, they can only cover so much, right? But I mean, again, it certainly does give the impression that, oh my God, this guy crashed a lot of time. But you know, we just don't know here, okay? And even if it is the start of the season, okay, I wouldn't say so what, because it still costs a lot of money, and you know, Jesus Christ, is this guy gonna be crashing for the rest of the year? And I'd understand that if the team were thinking this, right? But it's at the start of the season, pre-season testing as well. So it's not the end of the world, and again, we don't know what happened here. So then here's where this tells me now, okay? We're at Monaco. This is just before qualifying or the race, whichever it is, and you can see Pierre Gasly. He's in the garage, the pit garage, with his team, with his mechanics, his engineer. They're having a bit of a chat, right? Bit of fucking around before they start off, okay? Now, normally, guys, that is exactly what happens, right? Okay? You know, let's say it's now we don't know how early or how long they have to wait until they're actually getting on the track right now, but probably from an educated point of view here, probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go. All right, and Gasly's coming in, having a chat to the engineers, having a chat to the mechanics, just being around the team, right? This is what us racing drivers do, guys, okay? We don't sit in the motorhome the whole time until the very last second and out we come. Now, sometimes depending on a scenario, maybe you do have that. But most of the time, most drivers, they'll go out to the team, they'll bring their helmet, their gloves, their balaclava, they'll go into the pit lane, they're ready, suit on, ready to go. They'll stick the helmet up on the mechanics table, and they'll just have a chat, you know? So guys, let's have anything else we got to talk about or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just getting ready here, you know? And it's not to have a fuck around and have a cigarette out the back here. No, it's nothing like this. It's just, right, let's see what the team are up to. Let's see what we're gonna do. This is nothing out of the normal here. But now, why I'm bringing this up, because Christian Horner comes over, so how are you getting on or whatever, and he goes, so you're just hanging out, huh? And it was just the look on his face, right, guys? So, you know, watch this program, and believe you me, if you've never been around racing, fair enough, you know, you don't know, okay? And I totally understand that. So somebody might get the impression that, oh, is he just fucking around, this guy? No, he's not. He's not fucking around. He's just prepping, getting mentally ready, being around the car, being around the team. If the team want to ask him any questions, right? They can ask him because he's right there. So believe you me, Christian Horner asking Pierre Gasly right there and then, so you're just hanging out, huh? Well, yeah, dickhead. This is what us drivers do, as you know, before we go out onto the fucking grid. What do you want me to do? Like, seriously, guys. So bizarre question to ask. Such a bizarre question to ask. Really, truly is. You know, and I hope I'm explaining that correctly. You know, for him to ask that question is bizarre. And I even remember when I watched this episode years back when it came out first. And when I even remember this, I went, oh, fuck. I know where that attitude's coming from. Because I've seen it before. I've seen it, and I'll tell you about my experience in a few moments. So that was my first hint that, oh, shit, things aren't going to go well for this guy. So then, here we have things getting even worse. You can see then we flash over to Christian with Pierre Gasly, and he's talking about the racing line. And you can see him now, right? You see him in the episode, and he's got the hands up, and he's like, you know, so you're going in like this, and well, maybe what you should be doing is this, or whatever he's saying, right? But he's trying to almost coach him and give him a hand to actually get along. Now, guys, that's another huge fucking giveaway. If you were in karting days, you may have your team owner come over if the guy was a racing driver before, now Christian Horner did race, but he never raced competitively, like properly. He didn't. Okay? And number two, what's he doing? They've got all the engineers, they've got all the mechanics, they've got all the data, they've got everything they need. Christian Horner's standing on the pit lane, by the way. Now, if Christian Horner was touring around the track, and by the way, this would happen in the lower racing levels, right? Sometimes, but not even the team owner, because you have people doing this for you, right? And you don't even need to do it because you can see the fucking data on the fucking screen. They've got so many videos, as you can see, guys. You can see the onboard footage, so they could actually go through the onboard footage, Gasly versus Verstappen, and they could sit down and go, right, okay, do you see what you're doing there, Pierre, right? You see, look, see the way you lift off and you go down one more gear? Ah, you see, see, look, there's Max. And then you could see, let's say, example now, Gasly goes down to third gear, but Max Verstappen stays in fourth gear, because you can go through it faster in fourth gear. So now, in other words, you see, Pierre, you see? You're actually going down to fourth gear instead of... sorry, you're going down to third gear instead of fourth gear. Right? And then Pierre will go, oh, fuck, that's where I'm losing my time. Oh, Jesus, okay. Now, that's one scenario, and that wouldn't even happen, and I'll tell you why. Because they have the data. They've got the data, the computer laptops. They can show you exactly where you're going wrong. They don't need to show you on TV. Right? But again, that would just be two bases. But then to have Christian Horner to jump in and try and coach the guy, I'm telling you guys, that just doesn't happen unless you're in karting or something, when you don't have resources at hand. You don't have the people to help you out as best as possible. That is just, to me, was just seriously fucked up. And I don't think we do see that again in Netflix Drive to Survive. In fact, I don't think you see that at all from any other fucking driver. Unless there's a racing team owner, like Alain Prost with Renault, okay? He was a racing driver. If he wanted to sit down and go, hey, so Daniel, you're going through like that. Is it? Oh, right, okay, I'll see what you mean. Maybe for feedback, but Christian's trying to coach him. This is a real, like, would I say the word patronizing? Probably. If I think of a better word, I'll come back to you about that. But anyway, guys, no. And then we flash straight over to Pierre Gasly. And what does Gasly say straight after that clip where we see Christian with all his hands up? Gasly says, I don't need to tell anybody. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. In other words, driving the racing car. Okay? I think even Pierre Gasly was fucking pissed off at that. Pissed off, as in fuck off, Christian. I know exactly what I'm doing here, man, alright? We've got, even if I don't, we've got all the data and TV fucking clips to show me what I need to do. I don't need you coming over, who, by the way, is standing on a pit wall. You're not even standing at the corner where I'm going through the bend, and you're watching other drivers go through. You're not even on that corner, and yet you're trying to tell me I'm the fucking pit wall. Give me a break, man. You can just see it from Pierre Gasly here. Hey, let me see. Let me see. Okay, and even then we flash over to Jerry Halliwell. And then Jerry Halliwell is saying, she's talking about Monaco, and she goes, well, you know, even for me when I go to a concert, Monaco for me is like, when she goes on tour, it's like she's got 3 Monacos all roll into a couple of weeks. Right? So she's just trying to explain how hectic her concerts are. And obviously exhausting, I presume, as well. And then you can see Christian kind of giving a bit of a smug laugh. Like, it's telling you, see some of these team bosses, man. Some of these team bosses, it just kind of shows you what some of these team bosses can be, you know. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm not, you know, because I really do rate Christian Horner too. I'd rather have a Christian Horner as my team boss and him being an asshole than having some, I don't know, not as an effective team boss but being a nice guy. You'd always rather the guy who'll get you a fucking result anyway. But still, you just get to see it. Here's another one as well. Here's another giveaway. Now we go to Canada. And Helmut Marko, if you've seen, there's the older gentleman in the background, right? And he comes in and he's in the Red Bull team. Helmut Marko's basically Christian Horner's like pal, like he's the junior driver program guy, okay? He's a partner of Christian's. He's always at the Formula 1 meetings anyway, but Helmut Marko, big guy in Red Bull, and then he comes in and he says Gasly's poor. In other words, he's not doing well. His times are not showing. And they know Netflix is around here. And then Christian Horner says, yeah, he's losing 4/10 in the last 2 corners. And he goes, geez, even you and me could do that. Like, and he knows the TV's on him here. They know the TV is on him. And Christian is actually like smiling. You know? He doesn't look concerned. He doesn't look worried. He doesn't look almost he's about to cry because one of his drivers is going this bad. Wouldn't you think he'd have a different reaction if he was this worried and he really wanted him to do well? He's taking the piss out of him here. Do you get where I'm coming from here? Like, because they've got their golden boy in place, and the more Gasly's going slower, the better Max looks, and the better Max looks, better chance of sponsorship for next year, because they want the Junior World Champion Program sponsorship money coming in. Right? This plays in the hands of Christian Horner. No matter what, the house always wins here. This is it in a nutshell. Okay, so then it's getting worse for Pierre Gasly. He's in Canada. He's going crap. And then he even has the engineer. And guys, like, this is very unfair on Pierre Gasly. The engineer comes on and he says, we can't keep going like this, Pierre. I know engineers and the guys on the radio. Who fucking says that in the mid-race? Nobody. Guys, that was in public. Who fucking says that? No one. That was a clear case of let's kick the guy in the balls while he's down here. Not fucking good. Like I'll go back one couple of steps here. Who is Gasly? Gasly has a 5th in Monaco, right? Christian Horner goes, yeah, well, you know, he had a decent result in Monaco, 5th. Well, it's not really, but okay, he says that. But then Christian Horner comes on, and after Canada, Christian Horner says, finishing 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th is no good to us, and we can't have that. But yet Max Verstappen's not dominating this year yet. He wins a couple of races here and there, yeah, but he's had a couple of 5th and 6th. And so Christian, hang on, which is it, man? He had a 5th in Monaco, which is a decent result according to you. You said that now. But now you're saying if Gasly finishes 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, that's no good to us. So which is it, man? Seriously, which is it? You know? Again, the guy's all over the fucking place, guys. All over the place. And then he's even had to resort to listening to bullshit rumors, and even the press journalists are saying, well, I heard you might be getting sacked from Red Bull, huh? Gasly's kind of laughing, going, oh. And then the TV journalist that goes, well, why are you laughing? Like, it's almost like the TV journalist is now getting stuck into him. You know, who the fuck are you, buddy? What? Jesus Christ. Who the fuck are you to be questioning Pierre Gasly? Like, if he laughs, you can go, oh, did you see that, guys, afterwards? He could say nothing and then say, whoa, Pierre Gasly laughed? What's that about? Even the TV journalist is getting stuck into him. Jesus, I mean, and then Gasly finishes 7th. Max wins in Austria, as we see, right? We finish off with the program, or the episode on this one. And then Gasly says, I screwed up again. And then he gets lapped. Now, he causes a tire blister on his car when he's pushing at the start, right? So guys, the tire blister, it's not the end of the world, okay? What could have happened there is a tire blister's pushing too hard, and then, I suppose the best way to explain it is, imagine getting a burn. You know those car lighters, guys? right? You push the button and about 30 seconds later it pops, and then you know that you can get a light for your cigarette with that car lighter, and then imagine you press that up against your hand, you burn your hand, okay? That's what a tire blister is kind of like, okay? Except it's on a tire, not your hand, right? And it fucks up the pattern of the tire, it fucks up the tire itself. Now, it depends on how bad it is. It's not the end of the world. What he could have done is come straight out of the pit lane. Shit, lads, I got a tire blister. Fuck, can you bring me in? Okay, let's bring you in. Done. We'll put you on a hard compound tire, and they'll have to change their strategy. And then Gasly has hard tires on. He goes out and he does a huge long stint this time instead of coming in again soon. So therefore, he's hopefully going to make up for lost time with this. So things can happen in a race here. Like, this isn't losing a front wing, which could take, what are the pit stops again for a front wing? Could be up to like 10, 15 seconds maybe. Don't quote me on that one, guys, but it's a lot longer than changing tires, alright? So, at the end of the day, he could have come in, lost a little bit of time maybe, depending, but he could have recovered this, alright? And then at the end of the episode, we see that Christian Horner, decides to get rid of him, and he's bringing in Alex Albon. So, obviously, we'll see more of this now as we unfold over the next few episodes, which does get very interesting, guys. Jesus. But my point here is, guys, right? I can experience this is my own story as well. When I went to America in Formula 2000, American Canada, I was in a French-Canadian team with a French-Canadian driver, and I was the other guy as well. Now, they definitely favored the other guy. All of a sudden, I was quick, and then as I was quick, the next round, I'd start to go slower out of nowhere. Now, I would just won a race before this, so you can tell my mental state is pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I'm not lazy. I haven't lost my cool or lost my fucking mental state. I haven't gone absolutely nuts within 1 week, because I remember I won one race over in America. 1 week later, I'm down in 6th and 5th. Right, I think was it 5th or 6th? No, sorry, 6th. Yeah. Okay, and then my teammates are right up at the top. It's no fucking coincidence. This is exactly what happened. They said, we have to slow this fucker down. This is what happens sometimes, guys. Alright? I'm not making excuses. And by the way, I've been the number one driver, and I've seen my team slow the other guy down as well. Right? So I've been on the good end of this as well. It's just the way racing fucking is. And the thing is, it's happening right in front of our faces. Like, it's so obvious that it's not obvious. Do you get what I mean? Like, you'd have to pay attention to this type of thing because, again, it's so in our faces, it's not obvious then. Now, end of the day here. Before I continue on my story, like, yes, Pierre Gasly did make some mistakes. Yes, he did, okay? But it wasn't because he was going slow. He was going slow because he didn't get the car, right? And then they started to just jump on him and piss him off, try and fuck with his head, and then he actually did start making mistakes. He actually started believing the bullshit. You know, it was like, what's going on here? What's going on? I am this fast. Then you could tell, all right, at the end, in Belgium when they were racing, when he was saying to Christian, he goes, look, you know, I know I'm quick. I just screwed up again. So he's kind of having a fight with himself there. Now, guys, when I had that problem, I even remember I had a couple of wins in America, quite a few podiums, and the team were just having a problem slowing me down. They were having a problem slowing me down. In terms of, I was still getting some results in, okay? I got a bit lucky with some results too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Problem was that at the end, I remember I was at, where was it? Road Atlanta in America. And I think it was the last round. It was the last round of the year. And they were done with me now at this stage, this French-Canadian team. They were fucking pissed off at me. So I qualified, or I was in practice session with them. And we're in a practice. It's a Friday. Now in a practice, guys, you've no problem slowing down if you've got too much traffic because you want to get a clear lap to get a good fast lap to see what the car is like. So that is not a problem. All of a sudden, my teammate comes up behind me and he's all over me, right? He's weaving left, weaving right, hands out the air, right? Like, kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? That's what I'm saying to myself. So what did I do? I pulled over and let him through, right? Now, at the time, I didn't slow down at the start simply because I had a clear lap. Now, he's going faster than me at this stage, okay? But he wasn't on my tail. Not at all. Then all of a sudden, we come up to this guy, a backmarker guy. We come out of the corner and he's right there on my tail. I went, oh, okay, he's on my ass. But again, he's starting to like flail his arms around for like, I don't know, probably about fucking 2 laps. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, he's not even on my ass where he can overtake me yet. So anyway, you know, I'm ignoring him, and then he's on my ass. I'm like, alright, just let him to overtake. Then he overtakes me, and then he's fucking, fuck you, man, out the window. Like, guys, I'm sure you can probably relate to this, to road rage, right? This was classic road rage. I'm like, what in God's name is wrong with that guy? And again, this is practice. There's no reason to try and race anybody. There's no championship up for grabs between the two of us, right? So it's not like I'm playing mind games with them. Absolutely not. So we come in at the end. Team owner calls me and the other guy into the motorhome, and he says that I'm trying to knock the other guy off the track. I went, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, and he says, yeah, I heard. I wasn't at the corner, but I have a witness that actually was there. And then, Peter, I went over to another corner and I saw you do the same thing. Now, this is the last round of the year, guys. I am so, you know, one of those moments where you're so shocked that you've caught the person out in a lie. 100% flat out, I knew the team owner was trying to lie. Because, number one, I was ahead of my teammate, so I didn't try to knock him off from behind or from the side. I didn't try and slow him down. None of the above. Now, if he came into me and said, Peter, you were trying to slow him down. Well, I just would have said, well, why would you think I'm trying to slow him down? It's practice. And, like, here's the thing, guys. In practice, you don't want to be anywhere fucking near any other drivers, and you don't want to be fucking around with any other driver on the track, because the longer you do, so let's say an example, as a racing driver, if you start messing around with another driver, the way he thought I did, I'm wasting time now. Because the more time I waste, the more tire wear is getting fucked. The more engine wear is getting fucked. So therefore, the less time I spend on the track, the better it is for me, the more effective. And believe me, that's exactly what I tried to treat it, professionally. So this guy actually tries to tell me I'm lying. And that was the end of the conversation. I literally had no words. Now, when I look back, it's funny because you know the way you kind of go, God damn it, I should have said something. Right? I didn't have it in me. It was the last round of the year. I went, oh my God. This is such a clear, an incredible indication that they're looking for anything to try and fuck me. And then, of course, they did in the race. All of a sudden, my car was going really slow. This shit happens, ladies and gents. So that does bring me back down memory lane, this episode. And make no mistake about it, Pierre Gasly did make some mistakes here, you know. He did have a couple of crashes at the start of the year. And again, we don't even know 100% if they were crashes or not. But let's assume he did. Alright, let's just go with that. A couple of crashes at the start of the year. Getting used to the car. Things like this. Maybe. But they fucked with his head. Completely fucked with his head. I mean, even if you want to put another comparison on, it'd be like 2 boxers in a ring. Or no. Forget about the 2 boxers. It'd be like your best friend coming along. Okay? Coming up to you as you're sitting there having a barbecue. And out of nowhere, he just comes up and smashes you with a punch over your face. You fall to the floor and you're in pain, right? You don't even see the punch coming. He just does it out of nowhere, okay? A sneaky punch. And then all of a sudden, as you're kind of trying to get up off the ground, he's starting to abuse you. You know, oh, look at you. Oh, would you get up and stop being a fucking goddamn drama queen, you fucking weirdo. Oh, look at him. Yeah. Oh, are you done? Right? And then just totally pissing all over you. These things happen. In real life, motor racing, happens a lot. So, you know, Formula 1 is not incredibly glamorous. Motor racing can have its ugly, ugly fucking side here. But again, this is definitely a good episode to show how fucked up it can get in motor racing. Really, really can. And how other teams bully. Now, you're asking a question, why do they want him gone? We're about to find out in the next episode why all of a sudden Albon is a great advantage to have him in the team. Coincidence, huh? Big coincidence. But we'll find out in the next one. Guys, thanks for listening and watching. Take care, and sorry, I hope I'm feeling better for the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move. He's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Walsh.